Now, smog can affect people in a lot of different ways. Its impact on physical health is well known, but what about the effect on mental and emotional health? For that, I spoke with Dr. Chen Xi, who has studied the link. He's professor of public health and economics at Yale University.
There's a wide range of impact of air pollution, but currently epidemiology studies focused on the mortality, the cancer, stroke, all these diseases. But the emotionally, people may be affected for a longer period of time and affect their daily life and the human capital accumulation. For example, we find that their happiness has been negatively affected a lot. So looking at the data in China, during the past 10 years, the GDP growth is almost at a 10% level. But the happiness, status of happiness is keep declining. So this has not been well explained. But in our study, we track people from 25 provinces in China, and we look over time, the same individuals, their happiness status, and we link their happiness data to the hourly temperature to the exact location of their living. And we find that air quality can explain 1/4 of their daily happiness. And more extremely, we find that people feel more depressed, heavy-headed due to air pollution. And both long-term effect and the short-term effect are both being found.
What is the solution here for people who are emotionally affected by air pollution?
The government could tackle the air pollution in more effective ways, in short term and in long term. In short term, for example, in Beijing and other places, the government already started to install the air filters to protect the children against air pollution. That is very helpful for short term exposure, but for the long-term exposure, the government need to do more. For example, they can have more incentives to mitigate the emission of the air pollutants. For example, they can give incentive to the electric car company, and this is what actually the Beijing government is doing, and they make it cheaper to buy electric car as well as the rental car. And also the Chinese government is trying to build in the world's largest the carbon trading system this year. So according to their plan, this will cover most part of China. So more polluted areas, they can trade, they can buy the quota to pollute more. And more developed areas, they can innovate their science and technology to reduce the pollution. So there's a trading system can help a lot.
Also, have you found the physical and emotional impact in Beijing, perhaps to other places that also suffer from heavy pollution? For example, New Delhi, India, and Tehran, Iran. Yes. Are these some of how do you compare China to India or Iran in terms of pollution and the health impact?
Yes, that's a very interesting question. And China, in terms of the level of pollution, is never the highest. So India, especially the capital city, Delhi, has much higher pollution levels. And even in Europe, there's a large variation. In East Europe, the PM10 and PM2.5, two very fine particulate matter, their level are much higher than the West Europe. So they all suffer from these issues. So that's why it's a worldwide issue.
Dr. Chen Xi from Yale University.